Royal in shock. Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor shares joyful news before state banquet. Spain expected a night of formality. A banquet of elegance, diplomacy, and royal grandeur. Guests in gowns and uniforms, golden chandeliers lighting halls that have witnessed centuries of history. The nation looked forward to ceremony, not surprise. And then, everything changed. Before the first toast was raised, before the orchestra struck its notes, Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor stood before Spain and shared news no one expected. Joyful news. A revelation that rippled through the banquet hall and beyond palace walls, leaving not only Spain, but the world, in absolute shock. This wasn't politics. This wasn't duty. This was personal. A confession filled with joy, warmth, and the spark of youth. And yet, it was more than that. It was a glimpse into the heart of Spain's future queen. What exactly did she reveal? Why at this moment, and why before a state banquet, a place reserved for calculated speeches and rigid protocol? To answer, we must return to the woman herself, Princess Leonor. For years, she carried the weight of expectation. Every step rehearsed, every word measured. Spain saw discipline, confidence, and an heir who was ready. But behind that polished exterior, there was also a young woman learning, growing, and quietly holding a secret she chose to share in the most unexpected of places. The joyful news, though stunning, did not come from nowhere. Observers had noticed subtle shifts in her demeanor. Her smile, a touch brighter. Her eyes, a touch softer. The way she carried herself, still regal, but infused with something deeply human, deeply personal. When she stood before the banquet hall, silence fell. No one anticipated what she was about to say. Not the dignitaries, not the politicians, not even those closest to her. And then, with grace, she revealed it. A personal joy, tied to her private life. Words that confirmed what many had only speculated. Princess Leonor is not only a future queen of duty but also a young woman of love, happiness, and connection. The hall erupted. Some gasped. Some smiled. Some struggled to process what they had just heard. Spain, listening across television screens and news feeds, felt its heart skip. This was no ordinary announcement. Here begins our first curiosity loop. Why did she choose this moment? Why a state banquet, under the eyes of kings, queens, ministers, and ambassadors? The answer reveals her genius. By making her joyful news public in such a setting, she elevated her truth to the level of history. It was no rumor whispered in tabloids, no secret caught in photographs. It was her story, spoken by her voice, in the halls of power. And that decision changes everything. The reaction within the palace was complex. King Felipe, her father, sat quietly, his expression a blend of pride and contemplation. He knew what it meant for his daughter to step forward, not just as heir, but as a woman who values honesty. Queen Letitia's eyes, sharp yet emotional, reflected both support and maternal concern. She, more than anyone, understood what it meant to balance public expectation with private joy. Spain, too, was split. Many celebrated the courage, the authenticity, the transparency. Others questioned timing, protocol, and the future implications for the monarchy. But no matter which side one stood on, no one could deny the truth: the announcement had changed the monarchy forever. Another loop opens. What does this mean for Spain's royal future? For centuries, Europe's monarchies kept matters of the heart hidden, managed, and controlled. Leonor's joyful news defied that legacy. It told Spain, and the world, that her reign would not be about secrecy, but about openness. She would lead as herself, not as a mask crafted by advisors. This move is more than personal. It is strategic. It connects Leonor to her generation, to the millions of young Spaniards who crave leaders that live authentically, not behind curtains of tradition. And in doing so, she has drawn her people closer. But what exactly is the nature of this joyful news? For some, it confirmed the whispers of love. For others, it hinted at milestones to come. And for many, it was simply the sight of a princess daring to share joy in a space where formality often smothers humanity. As the banquet continued, the atmosphere shifted. The usual stiffness melted into a kind of celebration, an undercurrent of excitement that colored every toast and every song. Diplomats leaned toward one another, whispering about what this meant for Spain. Royal watchers scribbled furiously, knowing the world's headlines were already being written. And yet, beyond speculation, one truth resonated clearly: Princess Leonor had chosen to give Spain a gift before a banquet meant for politics. She gave them a glimpse of her soul. This decision now opens more loops. How will Spain respond in the days to come? Will the monarchy grow stronger under Leonor's transparency? Or will critics sharpen their voices, accusing her of blurring tradition with personal emotion? What will Europe's other royal families think? Will they applaud her courage, or quietly critique her departure from protocol? And most importantly, what comes next? The banquet may have ended, the chandeliers dimmed, the halls emptied. But the echoes of her words continue to ripple. Every Spaniard now waits for the next chapter, for the deeper revelation of what her joyful news truly means. For now, what Spain knows is this: their future queen has shown them her heart. She has shown them courage. She has shown them that monarchy can be human. And with that, Princess Leonor has once again left her nation in shock, joyful shock. Because sometimes the most powerful announcements do not come from thrones or crowns, but from the voice of a young woman daring to be real. And Spain will never forget the night their princess shared her joy before a state banquet.